Hello, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to use part of a box of mostly 1981 Topps baseball cards to play a game that I used to play a lot when I was a kid. It's one of the many kind of made up games that I played with my cards. I'm sure you've done some of the same things. So we'll just get started here and I'll kind of explain as I go along. So what kind of games do you play, or what kind of things did you do with your cards, or do you do with your cards? It's maybe outside the norm of just kind of sorting and displaying and so forth. I'd like to know some of the different things people do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play kind of a pennant race type of a deal, where I sort the cards into teams by division, and that'll tell me who wins, in air quotes, each division for that year. So I thought it might be interesting to look at some 81 Topps cards for this, because one, this is the first set that I collected. These are the first cards that I would have bought. My mom bought cards for me at the grocery store in 1981. I didn't really care for baseball then, but that was also the strike shortened season, and seeing as how we're going to have at best a short season here in 2020, I thought it was kind of fitting that we would look at some 81 Topps cards. So we'll go by divisions as they existed in 1981. So that's 4 divisions only: AL West, AL East, National League West, and National League East. So I got a Dodger there. Let's see if I can get him in frame. And I've got some kind of using some natural lighting of the spring evening here. So we'll see if it gets too dark for us, but I think we're okay for now. There's a George Hendrick for the Cardinals. Some Tom Paciorks. The Mariners. Back to the NL East. We got, a run of Manny Sanguians. Oh my goodness. Had no idea I had all these Mannys. Look how happy he is. One of my favorite cards, just because he's so happy. Go Manny. Some Yankees. Looks like I had a run on Rupert Jones too. Now, I believe that these particular cards were not actually part of my personal collection. Like, I didn't pull these out of packs. I think I got this lot from somewhere. I don't know where along the way. Like many kids in the 80s, I went through a phase where I would just grab all the cards I could get. And so this is some of the results of that. So I think a lot of people have been kind of going back through their collections here during the lockdown period. So there's a Blue Jays card. It's Kenny Landreau. So we'll see how many cards we want to go through here. Tigers. So we're kind of breaking these into teams. And so this is fun, but it also can get you, to sorting your team sets, trying to put your team sets together if that's a thing that you want to do. So here's some Angels future stars: Ralph Botting, Jim Dorsey, and John Harris. Not sure any of them quite lived up to that future star status. Al Holland did. He had some good years with the Phillies. Some more Pirates. Young Dickie Thon, who was a superstar in the making for the Astros before he took a beanball, I think, to the eye. Okay, we got Montreal Expos, most stolen bases, teammates season, Ron LaFleur, and Rodney Scott. I think that's Rodney Scott. Okay, there's more Expos. So since these are specials, but they do pertain to one team, I will put them together with the Expos. Nice to see the old Expos logos and uniforms there. Indians there. Jim Kern, the Rangers. I can almost smell the bubble gum on these. I distinctly remember pulling this style of card from packs bouncing these things around my room for years. Took a couple of years after my mom started buying me cards. Cesar Cedeno, a red that I was pretty infatuated with from a fan standpoint when he came over to Cincinnati. Took a couple of years for me to really embrace the hobby and the game. So I remember watching like a baseball player softball tournament, something like that, in like early 1983. And I thought, this is kind of springy. I'm ready for spring. And I kind of got the baseball bug watching that. Went home, dug out my baseball cards. Some of these guys that we're looking at here were amongst those there in what I was looking at. And I decided I better go out and buy some new cards. And it was all downhill from there for me. White Sox. So the old divisions were aligned a little differently than the current divisions, of course, since we have more teams now and more divisions. So we're going to lose some of the expanse here. Let me see if I can adjust a little bit. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I will pull the divisions horizontally instead of vertically. So we'll pull the AL East across the top row. AL West across the second row. NL East on the third row. And NL West on the bottom. Let's get them all back together here. See how we're looking. West, East, West, West. How does that work? Does that get us mostly in frame there? Guess I could move them over a little bit. All right. Back in business, I think. At least for now. So we at least got to get some cards of every team, or try to, before we declare divisional winners or whatever. So 1981, of course, had a funky setup where it was ripped apart by a strike, and so the powers that be decided that instead of doing any traditional kind of accounting of who won a division. I remember lots of these A's cards with what I thought were drab green uniforms at the time. Still kind of do. Anyway, instead of just seeing who had the most wins would win the division, they split it in half and said whoever wins the division in the first half, so who finishes on top during the first half, there's my Reds, Dave Collins, will play whoever finishes on top in the second half. That's Bump Wells. Baseball cards always amaze me. I've looked through 1981 Topps cards probably a million times in my life, and I don't remember ever seeing this Bump Wells card. So there's always something new. It's awesome. Here is a little bit of airbrushing, just a tiny bit, by Topps. So Gary Woods had been with the Blue Jays in 79, I guess. I don't know, that's a funky looking card. Anyway, and so we had the first ever division series. So you had the division winners for each half in each division playing against each other before they moved on to the league championship series. And so as a consequence, my Reds, it's a nice action shot of a follow through for Don Robinson. My Reds, I always like the pillbox hats for the Pirates there. My Reds finished with the best overall record in baseball and yet missed out on the playoffs completely. So it didn't really hurt me much at the time since I didn't have a team, didn't follow baseball, but I'm bitter about it now. So I wonder what kind of setup we're going to have for this season if we get to playing. What do you think will happen this year? I hear, as I sit here on April 10th, I hear that there are some of the Pacific Rim nations that have professional baseball are trying to get things underway or back underway. I think I read on Major League Baseball trade rumors that Japan, although the country is having lots of lockdowns, they're looking actively at how they can get things kind of moving on the baseball front. And it seems like they're able or allowed to do more things than our players and teams are right now in terms of practicing or whatever. And then one of the countries, I think it was Taiwan, as of yesterday at least, was planning to go forward with their opening day, like, I don't know, this weekend or something. So we'll see how that works out. Do you think we'll see any Major League Baseball this year? And if so, how many games and what will the setup be? Hard to imagine we'd see a full slate of 162 games, but I don't know. It'd be alright with me if we just kept rolling baseball all year long. I think I'm in the minority on that one these days, but there can never be too many games or... I've missed something up. I put the Red Sox on top of the Yankees. That is a terrible faux pas, not a Freudian slip. I'm not a Red Sox fan at all. Anyway, Gary Maddox, great center fielder for the Phillies. So it looks like we have all teams covered here. I'll go through maybe one more small stack after this, and then we'll see where we end up with our standings. So sometimes if I were hunkered in for hours as a kid with my baseball cards, I would adjust the standings based on how many cards were in each pile with every card that I'd put down, just like the standings that you'd read in the newspaper. So how well did my baseball cards predict the outcomes of the season? Well, I don't know. Probably not very well. You would expect, for each team to have roughly the same number of cards given any distribution. But then you get a run of 100? Okay, not 100, more than 10, probably Claudell Washington's. It's a nice card, but man, he's going to really do some good for the Mets there, and things get out of whack. There's Mark the Bird Fidrich, who was towards the end of the line there for the Bird at this point, but boy, he was one of the guys that really set off rookie craze, maybe not rookie card craze, but people following rookies when there was a lot of media coverage in 1976. Boy, he just tore it up. And there's Joe Nolan, Randy Neiman. There's Dale Berra, Yogi's son. Bobby Castillo, and Mick the Quick Rivers. What was like Mick the Quick? Some good baseball cards. Some fine looking Rangers card, and there's not a great looking Alan Ripley card. I don't know why he's in the shadows and kind of scowling. I'm not sure how happy he'd be with that. Topps didn't seem to do him any favors there. You know, I'm not quite satisfied with this. I want one more little stack, and then we'll see where we end up. See, it was worth it. We got Kiko Garcia with his eye black, and Dan Graham with his hat backwards. I mean, that's a classic look, right? At least he's a catcher. Dave Goltz, Bobby Grich, very underrated second baseman, has maybe better Hall of Fame stats than you might think, or better Hall of Fame credentials. Orioles. So we won't sort the cards. Ooh, look at that. Oscar Gamble and his afro. That's a pretty good size Gamble afro. Does not compare to his 76 Topps traded set or card, but still good looking. Anyway, got a nice thick mustache to go with it. Anyway, we won't sort. I won't sort the cards any further down after this, but we will determine division winners by counting the cards. Ross Grimsley. So I wrote an article about how he changed on his cards over the course of the 70s. And then one of the guys I'm friends with, I draw baseball cards, is his Twitter name. He did illustrations of the Grimsley cards. It's worth checking out that Twitter thread if you have some time to do some searching at some point. Braves. Bill Gullickson was a really good pitcher for the Expos in the 80s. Oh man, these definitely are some blasts from the past. Ron Guidry, Cy Young winner, great left-hander for the Yanks. Where is he? Where are the Yankees? They're there. Rich Gossage. Goose. Grich again. Almost put him with the Orioles because he was an Oriole. Okay. Dave Revering. I think that describes what he's doing in that shot. He's revering, I don't know, a play that's being made in the field. Okay, this one is a Yankee and a Dodger. So a classic matchup, but I can't put it with either team, so I'll put it to the side. Fred Stanley. Yankees. Some Indians. Padres. Mariners. Okay, where are my Red Sox? They're there. Jim Sundberg. Pretty good catcher for the Rangers. This is Don Sutton. Hall of Famer for the Dodgers. Team cards. I was kind of bummed when they stopped making team cards. Nobody was really crazy about team cards, but I thought it was nice to see everybody. And of course, with San Diego, you get the crazy tropical weather in the background. Plus, you got a team checklist. So if you were using this exercise to try to build out team sets, then the team card was a handy adjunct to that. And helped you keep track of what you were doing, and really you had to have the team card in order to complete the team checklist or the team set. Mariners, Giants. I thought we might end up with team cards there. There's Red Sox. Okay. Dan Spillmer for the Indians, but we got a few more players. Brewers team card. Okay, that's nice. And Brewers were AL East at that point. It was Dodgers with Tommy Lasorda. Batting leaders, George Brett and Bill Buckner. So a great card. Can't put them with either team. And then home run leaders, we got Reggie Jackson, Ben Ogilvy, and Mike Schmidt. Can't put it with either team, any of the three teams. So Reggie and Ogilvy tied at 41 home runs in the American League. And then Schmidt had 48. And you can see this card has had some love. Got a nice crease on it. Okay, so I think that's enough cards. Now we can start seeing who our division winners are. So we can kind of look through our cards as we count them again. There's 19 Tigers, and I won't discount for doubles. That's another variation of the game where you only count the distinct cards that you have, the different cards, or percentage completion, whatever. We'll just go with sheer numbers here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 Indians. So the Indians are in first place. It's not looking good though. Sometimes you don't really have to count. You can just look. There are clearly more Yankees cards than Indians. So we will move the Yanks into first place. We'll go ahead and count the Brewers to see how things work out here. They feel pretty slight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So they're pretty far below the Tigers at this point. So I'm going to guess they'll finish below some of these other teams. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Nice crease there into Sensei. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so for now, the Orioles are there in fourth place. Red Sox, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So they're tied with the Brewers. That means by virtue of the tiebreaker being alphabetics, the Red Sox, Boston beats Milwaukee. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14 Blue Jays. So they catapult over both of those teams. And so there we have our American League East. It's the Yankees, Indians, Tigers, Orioles, Blue Jays, Red Sox, and Brewers. Red Sox and Brewers tied for last, which is okay with me, especially the Red Sox piece. Now we got the Rangers in the American League West. $17. Okay, strong start. Angels are going to be thin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so they're pretty bad. The Red Sox or the White Sox though with Tony La Russa. 3, 4, 5, 6. Woo, that's puny. Let's see if the Mariners can challenge the Rangers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Floyd Bannister. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So an unprecedented move. The Seattle Mariners, the 1981 Seattle Mariners, vaulted into first place. Let's see where the Twins land. Hoskin Powell doesn't seem too optimistic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's carrying the whole load. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that will put them in third above the Angels. This A's stack feels pretty thick. Let's just do an eye test. Yeah, that's not even close. So the A's take down Mariners. So Mariners will have to wait a few more years for a title. And then we've got the Royals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they finish in last place, which is interesting. So we've got the A's, the Mariners, the Rangers, the Twins, the Angels, the White Sox, and the Royals. Okay, here we go. Montreal Expos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That seems low, and we can see for sure that the Mets beat them. I'm going to go ahead and count the Mets because it looks like it might be a battle between the Mets and the Pirates. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Ooh, 25 Mets. Seems like a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 Pirates. So even with all the Manny Sanguinian help, they could not catch the Mets. Okay, and then the Cardinals are going to be next, probably at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, and the Cubs will be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, the Cubs got out of last place. I can't even remember how many Expos there were. 6. And then there is a single Philly, or a single Phillies player, I guess. All right, so in the National League East, we have the Mets, the Pirates, the Cardinals, the Cubs, the Expos, and the Phillies. So here we have Giants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Astros. So that holds. Dodgers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Uh-oh. The Dodgers aren't going to win the division, and neither are my Reds with only 3 cards. I'm going to go ahead and put them in last place. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Padres will be in 5th place. And then the Braves will be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many Astros were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Atlanta is before Houston in the alphabet. So we end up with the Giants, the Dodgers, the Braves, the Astros, the Padres, and the Reds. So our division winners in 1981 are the San Francisco Giants, the New York Mets, the Oakland A's, and the New York Yankees. Does not quite compute with reality, although the Yanks were there. The Dodgers were the eventual world champs. So there you have it. That's how it plays out with this set of cards, or this run of cards. What kind of games do you play with your cards? You ever do this kind of standings thing? You play games with the backs? You play war with your cards? Let me know in the comments. And we'll go from there. Thanks for watching.